Well, now that the movies are finally over and I'll try my damnedest to avoid such things and flagellate anyone in this facility that tries otherwise, it's time for us to return to this seasonal garbage, or as I like to call it, sequels the season. Yeah, expect a lot of double features by the end, because there's not much original stuff to talk about, but a lot of continuations that have both come this season that I've skipped the last time. We'll begin with Talentless Nana, a 13-episode anime made by Studio Bridge, whose genre is hard to actually describe. Wikipedia claims it to be a suspense psychological thriller, and while I can see the logic behind such classification, it's hard to actually call it that now that I've seen it. Let me explain what I mean. Also be prepared for some spoilers if retelling the plot of the first episode counts as that. We begin on a mysterious island in the middle of nowhere, to which the benevolent Japanese government sends mutant children to be trained against the so-called enemies of humanity. We're introduced to a typical nerd who thinks he doesn't belong in here, and two new transfer students, Nana and, the angry blonde dude. Shenanigans ensue where the nerd gets the position of the class leader, and then Nana throws him off a bridge. So, as per the usual rules of anime episemitism, all pink-haired girls are either plot devices or cold-blooded killers, and Nana is in the latter category, being sent by the government to silently dispose of all the mutants on the island because in the retarded xenophobic government plan book, this is the third method of containing something after trying to silence the media and then trying to weaponize it. The main premise, and what people who like this anime will probably tell you is the whole point of the show, are mind games between the crafty detective and the equally crafty killer, a sort of cat-and-mouse play where lives are wasted and the situation on an isolated island slowly escalates. People who aren't as easily impressed, though, will quickly see that all of that is smoke and mirrors in the end of the day. The characters have the intellectual capabilities of a budgerigard. The grumpy blonde kid basically knows Nana's the killer, with the only reason why he can't just go and apprehend her is due to his downright autistic desire to play it fair, and Nana's deductive skills may be impressive the first 1-2 series, but soon turns from smarts to just sheer dumb luck. So instead I chose to watch it as a slasher movie, and that honestly was more entertaining, as then everything bad about the mystery plot gets immediately explained by the confinements of the genre. So Nana is the indestructible slasher, and everyone else is supposed to be stupid and unlikable, because that's the point. You don't really sympathize with the heroes in these movies, you expect them to have sex and die in the most interesting of manners. Unfortunately, this also didn't go for too long, as soon the plot about Nana getting empathy started, and that's where the show officially lost me, mostly because it was used as a cheap-to-be-continued intrigue. Though in show's defense, the last villain of the show was indeed a bit unexpected, though I have to add to that, anything is unexpected if you don't know what the fuck to expect. And that's another more structural problem with the entire premise. It's not as interesting to watch when the showmakers can just pull pretty much anything out of their bottomless rectum and call it canon, resulting in a feeling roughly described as which is probably the best way to describe Talentless Nana, a meandering, mediocre parade of predictable ideas and predictable executions of said ideas that ends on a cliffhanger that doesn't make me want to go search up the manga, but instead made me go search the animation studio, see that they're in charge of the 2020 Shaman King reboot, and experience the feeling best described as irritated second-hand embarrassment. Though, let's be frank, most of the entertainment industry these days can be described as such.